Hello everyone. I don't have that much time because my camera is about to die and it is Tuesday and I usually post these videos on Tuesday, but it's just been that kind of week. So this video will not be very edited. It will be very brief, but also I don't know, I'm in a really heavy place right now after what happened at Michigan State University last night, and I just don't feel like I can talk about anything else except for gun violence. It is Valentine's Day, so I am wearing pink and I have heart earrings, but today is also the 5th anniversary of the shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, where 14 students and 3 staff members were murdered. And last night at Michigan State University, there was a mass shooting on campus, and you can probably hear construction, but it is what it is. At least 3 people died, in addition to the shooter, who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and at least 5 people have been injured. I just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about why I do what I do, because 5 years ago today, my life changed. I was really impacted by the shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. So I just wanted to share that story instead of talking about gun violence statistics, because you can look that up for yourself. You know the statistics. You know how prevalent guns are in the United States. You know how other countries have been able to prevent mass shootings like what happened in Parkland and what now has happened at Michigan State. And you also know that as much as we talk about these mass shootings, especially ones that happen at schools, gun violence is so much bigger than that. It has to do with suicides. It has to do with murders. It has to do with accidental shootings. And I'm just really tired of hearing about all of this and talking about all of this. But at the same time, I wanted to talk today a little bit about why I do what I do, and it has to do with what happened 5 years ago. When the shooting happened at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, I remember feeling really scared and feeling like, wow, what happened at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School could happen at my high school. And I looked at the news and I saw a lot of white 18-year-olds who looked like they could have been me, or they could have been someone I was friends with. And it really hit close to home. It was the first time I felt like I could have died. I could have been the one who was shot. And I led a walkout at my high school. All of a sudden, I started doing all this research, became really passionate about gun violence, was like, we need to get guns out of our schools and make sure this never happens again. I went to the March for Our Lives in New York City. And when I was there, a representative from Black Lives Matter came to the stage. And essentially, she said something along the lines of, thank you for being here, but it's about time you started showing up. And you're only here today because what happened at Marjory Stoneman Douglas made it feel like it could have happened to you. But here with Black Lives Matter, we've been talking about gun violence for decades. So yeah, that really kind of bursted my white suburbia bubble. And I remember sobbing that night and feeling very helpless and not knowing that all this was going on across the country. And I decided to do something about it. I started pursuing a career in journalism because I felt like more people needed to know and understand what was going on, because sometimes it feels like people only care about issues when they affect them. And the whole point of gun control and stopping all this gun violence from happening is it's getting to the point where it will happen to you. There were people at Michigan State who were survivors of Sandy Hook and were survivors of Parkland. They've now been involved in 2 mass shootings. I think almost all of us know someone who's been affected by gun violence. And if you don't know someone who's been affected by gun violence, you will soon. A shooting has happened somewhere you've been before, or to someone you know, or you thought that it might be happening to someone you know. You've texted someone making sure that they were safe. The reason why gun violence, I think, upsets me so much is it's preventable tragedy, right? A tragedy is one thing, but a tragedy that can be prevented is another. I know today's Valentine's Day. I'm sure you have some lovely dinner plans with your SO or your friend or your dog, if you're me. But maybe call a senator today. If you have a gun in your house, maybe figure out how you can surrender it to local law enforcement. Maybe donate to a fund that is trying to prevent this from happening again. And educate yourself, because you might not care now, but I don't want it to get to a point where you don't have a choice but to care. So yeah, that's today's video. My camera's about to die and I have to go to work, but I just want to come on here and say we need change. That's it.